Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Sharita and welcome. And in today's video, I'm going to give you some of my favorite Lattafa fragrances that just so happen to also be gourmands. So if you are in the market for something sweet, delicious, but you don't want to break the bank, then I have got you covered. We're also going to dive into my thoughts on their latest release, which is Brioche Vanille. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So y'all, this first fragrance is one that is an inspired by version of one of my favorite vanilla gourmand musky fragrances. And that particular fragrance is known as Blanche Bed. If you are new here, I'm completely obsessed with that scent. But when I heard that Lattafa was going to attempt, to recreate my love, I was very skeptical. So this is her confession. And I mean, I just don't understand how they are nailing these fragrances in the way that they are. But they have done such a beautiful job with her confession. This is a very creamy, musky, sweet fragrance. I do think you have to love gourmands that have a lactonic quality to them for sure. But if you are in the market for something that smells unique, that has some white florals in it, again, very musky, creamy, vanilla forward, then I think that you would really enjoy her confession. So as this has sat, it has aged, it definitely smells so much closer to Blanche Bed. Every passing week or month that I just go back and stop in to sniff it, it's getting closer and closer. I don't think the sillage is as robust as it is on Blanche Bed, and the refinement is just not quite there. But I think that if you are in the market for something similar, like you've tried Blanche Bed, you love it, but you really don't want to spend the coins, you want something that is going to get you most of the way there, then I highly recommend her confession. So this fragrance features top notes of mystical, cinnamon, middle notes of tuberose, mahonial, jasmine, incense, and you have base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and musk. This is going to be versatile. This is a gourmand that you really can pull off all year. So we can definitely wear this spring and summer, especially because it is not as thick and quite as lactonic as your good girl Blanche. So again, this one is her confession. So let's go ahead and dive into their newest release, Brioche Vanille. So when this was announced, I did not know if I should be excited about this or skeptical. But the first fragrance that came to mind is definitely Pantone, okay? And I did not like that fragrance at all on me. Somewhat enjoyed the opening, but as it began to dry down, it wore extremely aromatic. And just a little bit too savory and a little masculine on my skin. And so I just said, you know what, I'm going to get me a decant. Something told me, and I never sample or get decants of Middle Eastern fragrances because they're so affordable. Went on ahead and got me a travel, and I'm so glad I did, because though I like this more than I did Pantone, and I'm not saying this is a dupe for it, but they're going to definitely be in that same family ballpark. This fragrance is bread. It's a little savory. It's just a touch sweet. But as it really begins to develop on my skin, something about it just gets a little aromatic. And you will not really gather that from the notes, but it does. Not as much as it did with Pantone for sure. I mean, you don't have like that orange thing going on as you did in that one, but this is definitely bread. Okay, if you're looking for bread, it's definitely giving bread. It's a little powdery. And it's just a little savory. It is a touch of sweetness, just like a good like brioche would give you. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a feminine leaning scent. And that's typically what I go for when I'm looking for a gourmand fragrance. So this fragrance opens with top notes of bergamot, freesia, brioche. You have middle notes of heliotrope, balsam fir, and you have base notes of vanilla, benzoin, and praline. Really light on the praline to my nose and on my skin. That balsam fir, that could be what is completely giving it this savory quality. Again, it features a bergamot in the top, but you really don't get a big citrusy vibe like you did in Pantone. But this is, I'm so glad I got a sample, because this is a no for me. I don't even really know if I will get through this entire travel. I'll see what my daughter thinks about it. It doesn't smell bad. It's just not for me. It's not that sweet, you know, decadent, delicious gourmand. And I just think that maybe this is something I'd rather smell on a guy. It's very literal. And I just can't see myself covering myself in this scent and wanting to smell like this as like a scent, a perfume. I really don't get that from this. So again, a little bit of a disappointment, but very happy that I decided to opt for a travel size. Again, this one is Brioche Vanille. If you have this fragrance, please drop me a line below and let me know your thoughts on it. Like, where would you wear this? And do you really enjoy it? I want to know the tea. I want to know your thoughts on this, but yeah, this is just going to be a pass for me. All right, so let's get into something that is a bit of a powerhouse. If you're in the mood for something spicy, something sweet, something that will definitely get you the compliments, then KHAMRAH is it. I definitely go back and forth between the flanker KAHWA and the original. I do love the fact that that original does have that Akigawa. So if I'm really in the mood to stun, that's when I'm pulling that one out. It's stronger, even though this is no slouch in the performance department. That one is a lot stronger. It's a little woodier. There are some differences. Do you really need both? I don't think so, but this one is just going to be a little easier to wear, but you're still getting all the same sweet, delicious, super spicy indulgence that you get from the original, but with those nuances that make them different that I previously mentioned. So this one features notes of cinnamon, cardamom, and ginger in the top. You have middle notes of praline, candied fruit, white flowers, base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, coffee, benzoin, and musk. Very heavy on the praline, very heavy on cinnamon, cardamom. If you love vanilla, you love it spicy, and you're looking for something that is definitely going to be a head turner, then I would highly recommend this one. It is often compared to Angel Share. This does not get as thick and as sweet and as overwhelming as Angel Share did for me, because that one was a declutter within the first year of me collecting fragrances. But it's going to give you the same vibe, just with some differences. And a lot of people prefer this over Angel Share if, you know, they just had some issues with Angel Share, as I did. Angel Share is very boozy. This does not feature any boozy notes. Neither does the original one. So if you found the Angel Share was too sweet, it's too thick, it's too boozy, but you want the vibe, then KHAMRAH is one I would highly recommend. For me personally, this is something I would pull out in, you know, the dead of winter, a nice fall date night, something around that realm. It may be too much for you to wear to work or to the office, just depending on how you spray. But this, again, without a doubt, very sweet and spicy, very warm, and it's a bit comforting, but at the same time, very sexy. So KHAMRAH is the spicy gourmand that you need if you love scents of that profile. So next up is going to be another vanilla sweet fragrance, but this one has a little bit of a fruity nuance, and it has just this touch of cacao that makes it perfect for this time of year. So this is NEBRAS. This one really took, you know, the TikTok, the world by storm when it was released, because it is very similar to Billie Eilish's Eilish. So I cannot recall all the notes on Eilish. However, I found that this one wore just a hint creamier, and for some reason, Billie Eilish is something a little metallic about the way that it wore on my skin, but this one, I don't really get that. So this is red berries, okay? You have a touch of orange, which always pairs lovely with the chocolate or cacao note, which is featured in the mid. So you have middle notes of rose, cacao, and vanilla, and then it is rounded off with lots of sugar in the base. You got some tonka bean, amber, and musk. So if you love ambery fragrances, you're looking for a chocolate fragrance that doesn't smell like literal chocolate. That's the thing. This is giving you vanilla, creamy, hints of cacao, almost like cacao in its true form, not necessarily one that's, you know, chocolate bar. There's like this bitter quality to cacao if you've ever actually like eaten a piece. And that is the vibe that I'm getting. So it wears a little different from just your typical chocolate or cacao fragrance, something like a choco musk. Don't think chocolate in that sense. So if typically you're not a fan of chocolate scents, this one may work for you. Again, it's very vanilla forward. I love the way the red berries pop in this fragrance. The sugar is sugaring, okay? This is something that really does give you like, almost like this crunchy sugar aspect to it. and it's quite ambery, some warmth from the tonka bean. This is going to be a versatile gourmand because it doesn't wear super heavy. So if you are in the mood to smell like chocolate and red berries and vanilla and sugar in the dead of summer, you can still pull off NEBRAS. This is all year. But if we're doing, you know, chocolate, sugar, red berries, why not pull it out for fall? Again, the ambery touch is just chef's kiss. And I think that if you're looking for a gourmand that's not going to be too much, it's not going to be too heavy, too loud, and you want something versatile and you want to smell like a snack, then NEBRAS is definitely one I highly recommend. This one you will have to overspray. Does not have the best performance, but if you spray it heavy, you spray your clothes, you're definitely going to get compliments off this baby right here. Again, this is NEBRAS. Last but certainly not least is probably one of my favorite Lattafa Gourmand scents, and this is Eclair. This is their version of Bianco Latte, which is just a really addictive vanilla sweet caramel lactonic scent. So if you have tried the original but it was just like OD too much, give this one a try because you're going to get that same scent, but it's not going to be overpowering. It's not going to be overwhelming, which a lot of people find the original one to be. You can overspray this, wear with confidence, and you're going to get all the compliments. The very first time that I wore this out the house, compliment. Went to the UPS store and the lady was just like, you smell amazing. Thank you. That was definitely going to be one of my concerns. Is this going to be giving the compliment factor that the OG does? Yes, it does. So this one has somewhat similar notes as Bianco Latte, but there are some differences. So in the top, they feature caramel. In the middle, they feature coumarin and honey. And in the base, they have vanilla and white musk. Just a gorgeous, sweet, caramel more so than honey forward fragrance with just lots of addictive creaminess. That is how I describe it. And this is going to be perfect for fall and winter. Again, this one is Eclair. Again, all of these from the house of Lattafa, you guys. You do not have to break the bank to smell sweet, delicious, and irresistible. And this is proof. So please drop me a comment below and let me know some of your favorite gourmands that also happen to be Middle Eastern and that are also from the house of Lattafa. Have any of these not been on your radar? Have they piqued your interest? Are you going to be picking up their latest release? If you have it, what are your thoughts? Let's chat about this in the comments. You guys, please make sure that you are subscribed. I love you all, YouTube, and I will catch you guys on the next one.